Hello, everyone, and welcome to Odd Burger's live corporate webinar. This is David Vidala from RBMG. Odd Burger is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ODD and on the OTCQB under the symbol ODDAF. Joining us today is the company's co-founder and CEO, James McInnes, who will be going through Odd Burger's March investor presentation. This will include an overview of current operations, highlighting their launch of Preposterous Foods, recent achievements, and upcoming milestones. At the end of the presentation, we will open it up to questions for management to address. If you are interested in asking a question and are logged onto the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your questions to us directly in the chat module. Please note, this presentation is being recorded today, Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, and will soon be made available on the company's website at oddburger.com. Today's call may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results, performance, or developments to differ materially from those contained in the statements and are not guarantees of future performance of the company. No assurance can be given that any of the events anticipated by the forward-looking statements will occur, or, if they do occur, what benefits the company will obtain from them. Also, some risks and uncertainties may be out of the control of the company. Odd Burger has a full disclaimer on page 2 of their presentation. Lastly, RBMG is not a registered investment advisor or broker-dealer. For more information, please visit rbmilestone.com. And now I'll hand it off to James. James, the stage is yours.
Thanks a lot, David. And I'm super excited to be here talking about Odd Burger and everything that we're doing, all the exciting things that we have going on. So Odd Burger is a plant-based technology company disrupting the fast food industry. And I'm going to talk quite a bit about why that is so important and what Odd Burger is doing to be the leader in this disruptive force. Did you know that you can create a better world by eating fast food? Doesn't that seem odd? And it is actually a really odd thing, because when we think of fast food, we think of this industry as something that is very disruptive to the environment, our health, obviously the animals. So really the question now is, how does Odd Burger, elicit this change, and why are we this disruptive company? And I'm going to talk about a few different strategies that we have to do that disruption. This is Chickpea, and Chickpea believes that we should be doing things to save the planet, help our communities, celebrate our differences, and of course, have some fun doing it. And the idea here is that we can make change together. We agree with Chickpea, so we're on a mission to help out. Odd Burger operates a vegan fast food chain, which a lot of you probably know about, and also a plant-based food manufacturing company. And this is something that maybe we haven't quite discussed in detail as much before, but we're going to talk a little bit more today. And both of these companies work together to make change in the food industry. So these are the brands. Odd Burger, obviously the vegan fast food chain that everyone knows and loves. Odd Burger essentially is a chain of company-owned restaurants and also franchised restaurant locations. And this is where we serve, all the plant-based classics that people have come to know and love. Our newest brand that we've launched, which is Preposterous Foods. Preposterous Foods is really the supplier of all of the proteins and sauces to Odd Burger. And this is where all of the food technology and all of our innovation really is taking place on the food tech side. And we're going to talk a bit more of this later. So we're going to start with talking about Odd Burger. And Odd Burger, as I said, is vegan fast food. And what is vegan fast food? Well, vegan fast food really is the idea that we can make iconic versions, plant-based versions of iconic fast food that you can enjoy without the guilt. So we have a full menu including breakfast, ice cream, milkshakes, burgers, wraps. And the cool thing about this is that all this is done at a price that's comparable to other major fast food chains. So the idea here is that if you can eat fast food without the guilt, that is such a powerful concept, because you have so many people in the world that have stopped eating fast food for various reasons, whether it's health reasons, environmental reasons, reasons for ethical reasons for the animals. And when you eat at Odd Burger, you're allowing yourself now to enjoy fast food again and I believe there's a huge market. There are people that want to eat fast food again, and Odd Burger is that company that they can now enjoy fast food guilt-free once again. So how do we do this? How do we do this fast food thing, and why are our fast food restaurants so cool? Well, at the heart of it is something that we call smart kitchens, and well, we call them that because, well, they're smart. So, for example, these are very small, compact designs, and they fit in less than 1,000 square feet. So obviously, that's great for lowering rental costs, being efficient with our space, being able to fit in very small footprints where other fast food chains can't fit in. And also, but it goes further than that, of course. It goes to, if you look at our equipment and the ways that we cook food is very different than other chains. So, for example, our cooking equipment is pre-programmed, and it can cook food in as little as 30 seconds, and which is pretty amazing, because you have to think you're getting food that is made to order, and it's not sitting in a hot holding container for 40 minutes before it goes in your burger. This is food that is fresh, and that is so important, I think, for customers and people that want to have food that's made for them the way they want it. Also, we have self-checkout and cash systems. So this, of course, streamlines ordering, so we don't have any cashiers. And we have proprietary automation technology that improves efficiency. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. This is stuff that is currently under development. Also, our restaurants are takeout and delivery focused model, which is obviously really beneficial for times during the pandemic. But of course, we also are a restaurant with limited seating, so we have the benefits of both kind of worlds, where we do have seating in our restaurants as people come back to sort of to the restaurant world post pandemic, and they're craving that sort of in-dining experience. And the key here is that we really offer both. And that is why I think our model is so successful. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our automation technology and the stuff that we have working on. Now, this largely is in the R&D stage, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the philosophy behind this and why I think it's such a cool concept, and why I think it'll transform the industry. So we are currently developing proprietary automation technology. And the first step of that is going to be developing technology that will automatically garnish food. So this will mean that it'll put things like ketchup, your sauces, your tomatoes, your onions on the burgers automatically through primarily robotic technology. So the design phase is complete. We're now entering the prototype phase. So this means that we've developed the AutoCAD files, we developed the design processes, we've done a lot of that work. And now the next step is going to be actually build a prototype. And the objective of this is to make food preparation faster and more efficient, and providing customers with greater customization, higher consistency across locations. So imagine if you, for example, want a burger with 20% less sauce and 5 grams of onion and 1 slice of tomato and 2 slices of pickles. And you want to have this burger the exact same way at every location. And I mean, this is really the whole point of fast food, is consistency across locations. And the one area of big area of consistency, of course, is garnishing a burger, because it can make a very big difference on your experience if it has too little sauce or too much sauce, etc. So the idea that you can have customized consistency, that I can create my burger and I can get that burger made at any location exactly how I want that. I can save that profile and I can get that food made. I think it's so exciting, and I think it's going to be something that is going to be really revolutionary to the fast food industry. So we're very excited to continue development of this project. Now, of course, what are people saying about the food? Because at the core of it, the food is really what matters. And if the food is not something that people love and care about, then I think obviously we're doing this for nothing. And really, the reviews say it all. I think if you look at our Google reviews, you'll see our average Google reviews on our locations is 4.8 stars. We have over 7,000 ratings on DoorDash at our Toronto location with a 4.7 star rating. So, again, this is a testament to our success as a brand, our success for their products, and I think the huge potential that we can now take this and really expand it into a very big global business. And of course, this all comes back to our community, because we are an odd community. And what we like to say is we're individuals connected by purpose. So we currently have about 30,000 followers on Instagram. And we really are a community of people that believe in what we're doing, that have a passion for changing the world, and I think fundamentally believe that we are going to be the people that are going to make change in the industry. And of course, this change comes with partnerships, and this is where we really have a big community involvement. I think this is really important, because we do provide financial support for community outreach initiatives, as well as vegan and social justice organizations. So in the past 2 years, for example, we donated to the Save Movement, Black Lives Matter Canada, Dare Farm Sanctuary, Food Not Bombs, really focusing on organizations that are really doing good in the world. And I think these organizations really need help. And what we see is when we partner with them, when we support them, we get that support back. And I think it's so important to have this as part of our business. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about Preposterous. Preposterous Foods is our new food brand, and I'm so excited to talk about this, because the potential of Preposterous is, well, preposterous. So I'm going to just go through a little bit more about what we do at Preposterous Foods. So Preposterous is Odd Burger's manufacturing subsidiary. So it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Odd Burger Corporation. So everything that happens is part of Odd Burger. And right now we manufacture 13 plant-based proteins and 8 plant-based sauces and dressings used primarily. And we make these with simple natural ingredients, including chickpeas, wheats, oats, and beans. So I'll talk about a couple of our products here and why it's so exciting. So when we look at the products that we have, you can see that the applications of these products is extremely wide, that they can be used by so many different types of organizations and so many different types of restaurants and institutions. So for example, our boneless wings up top, they can be tossed in a sauce. They can be used they can just be cooked plain and used with a dipping sauce. They can be tossed in a dry rub. They can be cut up and put in a wrap. There's so many uses of, say, a product like that. Our beefy ground, for example, so it's just a delicious meaty ground that could be used in tomato sauces. At, say, like a school or a hospital. It could be used in a shepherd's pie and lasagna, all sorts of different applications. And really, these products have had, obviously years of development work in them, and have been tried by a lot of different customers. So we know that these are great products, and now we're so excited to now, make these products available to the world. And the way that we're going to do that is through our partner, at least initially, is through our partnership with Sysco. So we have an exclusive distribution partnership with Sysco. And as you can see here on the right, this is one of our sell sheets, and you can see, again, the co-branding with Sysco, some of our nutritional info, some ways you can cook it. And these sell sheets, again, are meant to give chefs some ideas of how the products can be used in their kitchen, and the versatility of them. So right now we have over 20 processed products currently listed with Sysco, and 10 of these are available to customers outside of Odd Burger. So this means that any restaurant or institution can now buy them. And we're just really literally about to start, just distributing these products to certain customers in the coming weeks. Now, the Sysco relationship is significant because this provides us access to a potential of 600,000 global food service customers and 330 global distribution centers. So these customers range from independent restaurants to big chains to hospitals to institutions. And really, the partnership here allows us to leverage the Sysco sales and marketing teams, that it gives us access to all of their connections and all of those relationships, because again, it's a relationship that both of us benefit from. And you can imagine the potential of even one of our products getting picked up by a big chain or a big institution. The volumes of that potential are huge. And frankly, there's not a ton of food service products that are currently in Sysco. So I think, this is where I see such a huge growth potential for the business. Now, if you look at our manufacturing facility, it's located in London, Ontario. And 65% of all food sold at Whataburger restaurants is manufactured by us. So that means that, but basically all the proteins and all the sauces that are sold at Whataburger are manufactured by us. So as Whataburger grows, so does Preposterous Foods and the amount of product that we produce. Our product line is 100% nut-free, and we have some gluten-free and soy-free products. Again, very allergen-friendly, which is super important, I think, for when you're in any sort of institutional setting. We are HACCP certified and CFA registered facility. So this allows us to, ship cross-border into the US. This allows us to, again, sell into major chains and all that kind of stuff. And but really the core thing here is that we have a proven product line developed over 7 years with thousands and thousands of customers trying and loving these products. So you have to think we have 21 products. The monetization potential of that is just tremendous. And we're just right now at the cusp of releasing that. So again, we're so excited to see kind of, how these products are used by chefs outside of Whataburger, and because the potential, the different uses, is really quite significant. So now we're going to just put it all together and just describe how everything kind of fits together. So I'm going to talk about the revenue streams, and this really kind of highlights that there's 3 core revenue streams here. There's preposterous food revenue, and obviously this is something that is just in its infancy. We're just starting into this. There's two sort of lines of this: food sales to franchise restaurants locations. This is Whataburger franchised restaurants. We sell again 65% of the food that they buy comes from Preposterous Foods, and of course now food sales to external restaurants and institutions. So again, unknown potential, but thousands and thousands of customers out there that are looking for innovative and new plant-based products to put on their menu. And currently, right now, primarily most of our revenue is coming from Whataburger corporate locations. And again, this is just restaurants that we've opened where we are selling our food directly to customers. And then, of course, we have Whataburger franchise restaurant revenue. This is where we get a franchise fee. Our franchise fee is $35,000 for each location that we sell, and a 5% recurring royalty fee. Again, both the franchise restaurant revenue and processed food revenue are very much emerging revenue sources for us, but very big and very significant, and able to grow quickly and scale quickly. So if we look at the competitive advantage, our competitive advantages as a whole, 100% vegan company. Obviously, this is very important because many of our customers are vegan. We align with those customers ethically, and obviously, it matches with our ethics. We create unique plant-based food products that we develop and manufacture. Again, this is stuff that no one else has. This is not just, we're not just using products from other companies. And again, the monetization potential of this with both our own restaurants and external restaurants is tremendous. So we believe. At our restaurant locations, obviously on-demand cooking for fresh tasting, consistent food can be made in less than 60 seconds. I think this is also a revolutionary concept. Some of the proprietary automation technology that we're using, again, everything pre-programmed kitchen equipment, and really cooking food in a way that can't be messed up, and that really allows us to have consistent food and always the same. And again, this is why we have our good reviews. And lastly, Whataburger restaurants can operate with just a single staff member, and this is again done through our focus on technology, and people can focus more on customer service and less on having their head down and on top of a grill. So again, making people really making the experience of Whataburger into a good customer service experience, because staff have the time to really engage with customers. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our growth strategy. So the odd growth strategy really is about expanding both our corporate locations somewhat, but also primarily our franchising, our growth strategy. So we currently have 6 locations operational in Ontario, where those are 5 corporate and 1 franchise location. We are just finishing up our location in Whitby now, so that will be open we expect within the next month or so. And we have 7 additional locations in Ontario that we've secured. So those are through conditional leases, and these can either be opened as a franchise or a corporate location. So again, these are sites that we can just simply now match with franchisees and get operational. We have 3 franchise locations in development. So Victoria, BC, Calgary, Alberta, and Ottawa, Ontario. Calgary is they're right now in the process of creating their drawings and going to permit. So we're super excited about that West Coast expansion, because we believe there's just a huge potential on the West Coast for what we're doing, and the East Coast, of course, as well, which we're already seeing, obviously good traction. And if we look at our planned expansion areas, we're planning on U.S. franchising initiatives starting in New York, Michigan, and Washington states. And again, these are all sort of around where we're already expanding. So we're currently drafting a U.S. franchise agreement, and we're looking at entering the U.S. market sometime this year. So it's very exciting we're very excited to bring this fantastic Canadian concept into the U.S. market. We think it's going to be really well received. And if you look at the market, we are in this market of it's very much a growing industry. So the plant-based food market is expected to become a $74.2 billion industry by 2027. So again, a growing food market. People know that plant-based foods are the best way to feed the world and the most efficient way to feed the world. So the lowest environmental footprint, and I think we're going to see a very big growth in the plant-based food market as the supply chain tightens and all those kind of things happen. And if we look at the fast food market, this is just one of the largest industries in the world. It's a $931.7 billion industry in by 2027. So we're talking about again, a huge industry, both the plant-based market and the fast food market, growing and emerging industries that we're a part of. And if you look at some of the market activity, I think you'll see kind of a lot of, I think, really interesting things happening. So we're seeing, obviously some vegan chains getting acquired. So Foodtastic restaurants, acquisition of Copper Branch. Copper Branch is one of the biggest, largest fast food, not fast food, but quick service chains out there. So that's pretty interesting. Recent acquisition there. Recipe Limited's acquisition of Plant Power Ventures, which is the fresh chain from Toronto. Again, another interesting acquisition. But I think what we're really seeing here is we're seeing a lot of these sort of smaller brands being acquired by some bigger players, because they recognize the tremendous value, the tremendous growth potential in the plant-based food market, in the restaurant and also in the restaurant space. So I'm just going to go over a little bit of our historical performance and some of our milestones, because obviously it's been a very intense 6 months or so since we've been public. So obviously we went public in April 2021. At that time, we initially listed some of our Preposterous Food products with Sysco. In July, we rebranded to Odd Burger, and we opened our Vaughan, Ontario location. In August, we opened a location in London. We got our HACCP certification at our manufacturing facility. In September, we opened our Waterloo location, and we signed a franchise agreement for Calgary. And a month later, in October, we opened our Hamilton location. We had record monthly sales, and we completed our U.S. exchange listing. In November, we signed a franchise agreement for Ottawa and Victoria. And we also secured 90% franchisee financing from CIBC. And what this financing package does is it allows franchisees to own an Odd Burger with obviously a lot less capital. They only need about 10% of the capital up front. So again, it kind of demonstrates that the big banks, the big institutions also believe in what we're doing, and they're willing to back it. In December, we signed a franchise agreement for Victoria. This is our first location in BC. And so really at this point, we've signed franchise agreements in two provinces out west, as well as an additional one here in Ontario. In February, we launched Preposterous Foods in partnership with Sysco, and we made 10 SKUs available for purchase to external restaurants and institutions. And in March, we've announced record quarterly revenue for Q1, and I'll talk a little bit more about that next. So if we look at our historical performance, our financials, so we can see here again, we are now sort of in this growth phase, and we're starting to see that in our revenue numbers. So you can see here that our restaurant locations, are now at 6 locations, and our revenue for fiscal Q1 2022 was a record at $687,000. This is a 79% increase in revenue compared to the previous quarter, and 166 increase in revenue compared to fiscal year Q1 2020. So, again, what we're seeing here is we're seeing an acceleration on revenue growth. And as I said before, we're not even yet seeing really the additional revenue potential from Preposterous Foods or really our franchises. As we get our more franchise locations operational, as we sell more franchises, we're going to see, those other growth streams come on board. So we really are at the beginning of our growth journey. Well, what we can see here is that, obviously, as we add locations, our revenue grows. And, if you multiply this location by 10, you can probably extrapolate the graph of where this will go. So you can just see the massive growth potential here. Now, obviously, our profitability is something that we are focusing on. We're working on becoming more profitable, but really we don't expect to become profitable until we scale, because a lot of the infrastructure that we have is not really meant, obviously, to just support 6 restaurants. Like, we have a manufacturing center, and these things really only become profitable at scale. So we expect within the next 1 or 2 years, as we scale our business, that we'll start to become profitable, and once we hit 20 plus locations. So we're obviously really excited about that, and we're really looking, obviously, to transition to become a profitable company at that point. So just a short note about our board members. Obviously, myself is on the board. Leslie McInnes, my wife, she is a co-founder and obviously a huge part of what we do. And today on International Women's Day, obviously, I want to just have a shout out to how important and what an amazing woman she is, and what a leader that she has been in our company, helping it to become the amazing organization that it is. Ted, our CFO, an incredible, CFO with, over 11 years experience at McDonald's, and is in a finance role. So again, a lot of industry knowledge and experience. William McDonald, a corporate securities lawyer. So again, brings us a lot of that corporate governance that is so important. And Michael Fricker, currently a CFO of Untitled Foods, but a lot of experience with different brands. Particularly, he was CFO of Bento Sushi, North America's second largest sushi brand, with over 900 franchise locations. So again, a lot of experience in franchising and finance. So, again, we have a strong board. I think a great team that's going to kind of take us to the next level. So I'm going to talk a little bit about our share capitalization. So we are 52% founder ownership. So current market capitalization is about 33 million. Share price is around 40 cents. Share range has been from 31.5 cents to $1.78. Total issues and outstanding shares 82 million. Founder shares 43 million. So you can see that, obviously, we are the largest shareholders. We have the largest interest, obviously, in making sure our company is a success. And, we're here for the long term because we believe that this company has so much potential and so much growth ahead. And again, you can see our share price on the right here. And yeah, we'll just kind of end it off here with the remark that obviously, you're making a better choice for your body, the planet, the animals by choosing, plant-based, by choosing plant-based fast food. And we are really here to facilitate that change, to make it easy for consumers to make the right choice, to make it, an affordable choice. And we really want to get our great products all over the world. And I think when you look at what we're doing with Oddburger, what we're doing with Preposterous Foods, you can just see how this is going to be something that is very possible for us to do. And that really ends my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you, James. If you're interested in asking a question and are logged into the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your question to us directly in the chat module. But I do have some questions that were submitted previously, so why don't we begin with those, James? Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, first question. How do the current world geopolitical issues affect Oddburger's supply chain?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is a terrible thing what's happening in the world, and I think everyone here at Oddburger, we really feel for the people of Ukraine, of course, and we want to see world peace. And I think as a vegan organization, that is what the world needs. Is we really need that peace, not just for people, but also for animals and the planet. So, and I think if you look at the effect on our supply chain, it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect us with higher costs. We're already seeing that with things like cooking oil now, with the price of wheat going up, so that's going to affect our bread price. We use derivatives of wheat called wheat gluten in our proteins. So, but so far we have not seen disruptions in our supply chain. We have not seen that. We still have been able to get all of our supplies, and and so far we don't anticipate that there's going to be any significant supply disruptions. Now, obviously, we don't know what's ahead for the future, but that's just kind of what we can see right now.
Okay. So where do you see the largest growth potential for the company? Is it with Preposterous Foods or Oddburger?
Well, it's interesting because I think if you look at both of those sort of lines of business, they both have huge potential. Now, the thing is, with Oddburger, I think that the growth with franchising can happen rapidly. It can happen quickly, and it can happen with us not needing to have a lot of put in a lot of capital. So that is exciting. But when you look at Preposterous Foods, the idea here that we have 21 incredible plant-based products that most of the world has never seen, especially outside of Oddburger. And the idea that institutions, restaurants, chains could launch these products at the locations. Like if you think of, even if we picked up, a major chain picked up just one of our products, what that would mean for our revenue would potentially be just tremendous. And we have 21 different products that any one of those could easily be picked up by a chain or institution, et cetera. So I think if you look at ultimately the growth potential, I think they're both significant. But I think if you look at Preposterous Foods, it could be a surprising and quick growth plan, because again, all it takes is someone out there to say, we want to carry this, we love this product, we want to bring this product to our 500 locations, and that's something that we can make happen, which is really exciting.
Okay, thank you. Next question, are you looking to flip your corporate-owned locations to franchise locations? And by doing so, what value will switching to a franchise format bring to shareholders?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, I think having corporate locations does have value, but that being said, there is the overhead of managing locations, which again, there is a cost to that. So the nice thing about franchising is that it does lower our operational costs, it does increase our profitability, and it does reduce the amount of capital that we need to invest, because we don't need to build locations. And lastly, it allows us to, we can build restaurants all over the place without having to necessarily directly manage each one of those locations. So the franchising partner, I think, is such an incredible strategy for growth for us. And this is why we're really focusing on that. And I think long term, we may end up selling a lot of our corporate stores as franchises. But again, this is something that we'll do in time, and not something that we're looking to do tomorrow necessarily. But if it makes sense, and then we have the right franchise operator, and we have confidence that they can run our corporate locations as well as we do, then I think it makes sense for us to make that transition. And I think for shareholders, again, it's gonna help us to become a more profitable company more quickly.
Great, thank you. Next question: how do you plan to scale the Preposterous food products?
So yeah, I mean, we already do have quite a bit of manufacturing capacity. We're not even close to our capacity right now, so we can definitely scale that in our current facility. We also, again, we have the ability to expand our current facility by about double. So, as we kind of ramp up, we do have the ability to expand our current facility quickly and easily. And I think this is obviously pretty important. But also we're looking at potentially working with some co-packers to do certain aspects of our production that, and again, this will allow us to focus on, say, just forming the proteins, and maybe they get, breaded and flash fried at another facility temporarily, while we build our own facility. So, and I think this is a strategy that has been done by other big chains. If you look at Beyond Meat and other companies like that, they work with co-packers for a period of time while they built their own facility, and while they built the demand for their product. So again, I think this is a sort of a strategy that we can sort of evolve with, but we definitely have plans in place. We have the relationships in place to meet the demand.
Okay. Is there a plan to launch a retail version of Preposterous Foods that could be sold in a grocery store?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think if you look at the a lot of our products, I mean, and we're currently in that phase of testing those products on the retail side. But I think there is a huge demand and need for a lot of our products on the retail side as well. So again, I think the plan is, we're going to start a food service because that's where we are now. That has our current distribution facilities. Through Sysco, and it's kind of the low hanging fruit, so to speak, because we can just go and start selling our products right away. But again, the transition into retail and launching retail products is part of the plan, but it's going to come with when we have the manufacturing capacity and when we have the ability to produce and supply them. Because again, that's going to be the most important thing. But the plan is we start in food service. That's something we do now. Later on, we look at how to get into retail, because I think it's an important place for Preposterous to be as well.
Okay, are you seeing growth in returning customers, and do you plan on launching a rewards program?
Yeah, like we have very strong metrics on returning customers, and that's actually something DoorDash has always told us. Like, we have incredible customer retention, and we have customers are very loyal, and they love our products, they love our food, they come back over and over again. And we actually right now in the middle of actually working on an app. That app is going to have a rewards program, and again, it's going to also allow us to control and know our customers, so that we can market to them, we can offer them promotions, we can give them a free ice cream on their birthday or whatever it is. So I think our movement into the app space and to will allow us to again have those reward programs and connect with our customers.
Okay, and what are your plans to increase prospective franchisee awareness?
So yeah, franchising awareness is obviously a part of our growth strategy, but we're doing a few things. So there's a few ways of increasing awareness. Number one is we're looking at working with area developers and area representatives. So these are people that have existing relationship with franchisees. That's a great way. Again, we don't have to spend money on marketing to connect with those customers or those franchisees, which is great. And I mean, the other way is, of course, working with brokers. I mean, brokers, we already are connected with a number of different brokers, and brokers, again, help us to connect with franchisees. And lastly, of course, there is just the strategy where we are able to market and target with digital ads towards people that are interested in franchising, interested in plant-based restaurants and that kind of stuff. So we're really looking at any and all strategies to increase our presence. But primarily the franchising business is a business where is relationships, where we want to partner with good operators, and a lot of that is having being part of that franchising community. And I think this is where a combination of brokers, area representatives, area developers is going to be the way we're going to really see this big growth quickly and easily.
Okay, and how do you plan to advertise the Preposterous food offerings to the commercial market?
Well, I mean, as I said, like initially, we are really going to leverage the Sysco relationship, because Sysco has the existing institutional customers, and I think the way that you market to institutions and to food service organizations is very different than you do to retail. It's a really totally different strategy, because the institutional strategy is very much relationship based, and this is where we are able to work with the Sysco sales reps, and they know all the customers, and you know, and the Sysco sales reps, they've already tried our products. They love our products. They believe in our products. The Sysco chefs, same thing. And so really they become our biggest advocates, and they become someone who can, again, help us to sell it. And a lot of that strategy is about, you know, giving samples out, letting chefs try the food, letting restaurants trial products on their menu and that kind of stuff. Because ultimately it's about what the customers want, and it's about what chefs can do with our products. So I think really that's going to be our first strategy at you know, getting into the institutional and commercial space.
Okay, you know, we're going to take one more question, and this one's for me and one of our attendees. But how long do you think it'll be before we can see an Odd Burger in New York?
So yeah, I mean, our New York expansion strategy, you know, is really now focused on franchising, and the reason for that is we, as a corporate entity, we really did focus and really tried to get a location in New York. We put probably 10 offers in different locations, and it was very difficult for us to get a spot. And so what we're doing is we're really just changing strategy a little bit, and we're now, you know, looking for franchisees that have existing relationships with landlords, that have a connection again in the New York market, and we feel it's going to be a much better strategy for us. And we already have tremendous traction and a lot of interest from franchisees in the U.S. market, in New York State, you know, in Washington, in Michigan. So again, that's going to be part of our strategy, and we're really hoping to be in New York sometime this year.
Great. Well, thank you, James. And thank you, everyone, for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar recording will soon be made available on Odd Burger's website. If you have any additional questions that have not been addressed on this website or webinar, please feel free to email us at oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Again, that's oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Thank you again. You are now free to disconnect.